started. Thank you guys for having me, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to come and learn more about YouScience. I love the opportunity here to share with parents. You guys are such a valuable part of your students' journey as they're making these big decisions in life. And so I love that I can show you this awesome resource and tool. So as we get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Gail Seaton, and I am what's called a customer success manager with YouScience, and I work with just the state of Georgia. So I'm lucky that I get to really focus in on this one state and help all the students and counselors and parents here in Georgia. So looking at YouScience, our mission is empowering intentional individual success. So our goal is making sure that every student knows their strength, they know their potential, they know that they can be such a valuable part of the workforce as they're exiting high school, but also just everything they can offer while they're in school, and again, making those really big decisions. So we want to make sure that everyone really feels like they've learned what they can about themselves in order to contribute to those around them, contribute to the world, to the workforce, but also just having their own empowerment and having that confidence as they make those decisions. So you might have some students that are asking, why am I taking this? What is this aptitude and career discovery thing? Why is it important? So one of the things we can look at is it helps us answer some of these questions. So you will learn what careers are the right fit for me based on my natural strengths. So aptitude is kind of a fancy word for your natural strengths and things that you're able to do easily, kind of the way your brain works. So this is going to show students what careers are going to be a good fit for me. And that way, when they work in that job, they're going to have a much more rewarding experience. It'll also help answer, how can I describe myself and who I am with confidence? So outside of just picking a job, another thing that we want to help students with is just learning about themselves and having the ability to describe what they're good at, to describe those strengths as they're applying for things, as they're out trying to get a job. But it's also just great to know about yourself, because that's going to help you move forward in whatever your next decision is or whatever your next step. So next you'll answer, what am I going to do after high school? So that's a big question that a lot of students get asked as they're finishing up high school, and this will help give them some great information to be able to answer that question. And then finally, it says, where do I fit in the world of work and careers? So besides just picking a job, one thing that you want to do when you get out of high school, it's also just going to help them understand, where do I fit in this whole environment of work and careers? Because there might be more than just one job. And as you get into the workforce, a lot of people might change what they're wanting to do, and it gives them just a broader understanding of where they would fit out in that workforce. So how does it work? What we do is we have a core assessment, and it's called the Aptitude and Career Discovery Assessment. And it's broken up into 11 short 4 to 15 minute exercises. So the longest one is 15 minutes. You can take a break after any of the exercises, but you can't stop during the middle. So if your student is working on their assessment at home, as long as they finish whatever brain game that they're on, it will save their progress. They can come back and start the next one at a later time. So like I said, we often refer to these as brain games, because it's going to be working your brain, and some things will be super fun and it'll just feel like you're playing a game. Some of them will be a little more challenging, just depending on what your natural aptitudes are. The best part about it is that you get some personalized results. So you're not lumped into a group with all the other students. You're not filtered out into chunks of people. You really get your own personal results. And every person that takes the assessment is going to have slightly different results from the person next to them. So you'll get that personalized report. And the results also include a bank of personal words and phrases. And I'll show you where those are located in the results. And this, again, helps you describe your talents to others. And the last thing is that it's uniquely you. So as you're going through, you might not think the exercises are measuring anything valuable that can help with your future, but they definitely are. They might seem kind of silly. You don't understand why you need to be doing these things, but it's really measuring how your brain is wired, and the little tasks that you do in the brain games will simulate things that you would eventually be doing in the workforce. So this was the video, but I'll share it out with everyone later since we weren't able to share the sound. So I'll skip ahead. So what are your strengths? This is one of the major things that we want students to learn after they complete their assessment. One of the activities that we do with students is having them think about writing with their dominant hand and their non-dominant hand. So if you think about spending 1 minute and you write out all of your strengths with your non-dominant hand, this is going to give you an idea of what it would feel like to work in a job that you don't have natural aptitudes for. It will probably take you a lot longer. It's not going to look very nice as you finish, and it's going to just feel more exhausting versus taking 2 minutes to write out your strengths with your dominant hand. Doing 1 minute with your non-dominant hand is going to feel so much more exhausting than doing twice as much time with your dominant hand. So that's, again, just a way to think about aptitudes and understanding why it's so important to figure out which jobs, which careers are going to be a best natural fit, so you're not spending all of your time fighting against what your brain naturally likes to do. And one thing to note as your students are getting ready, or hopefully they're working to complete their assessment over the holiday break, but this is not a test. This is not like the ACT. It's not an intelligence or personality test. It's not seeing how smart you are. It's not a test you can study for. All of this is based on your natural instincts and abilities. So there's nothing you can do to really prepare. And it's not a test that compares you to others. It might feel that way because you'll have different results that you can compare if you wanted to talk with your friend. But the goal is not that you're comparing yourself to your peers. The goal is that you're learning about yourself so that you can make your own decisions. And then looking at the YouScience experience, it expands your vision of career possibilities. One thing that is unique to YouScience is that we use aptitude-based assessments. Many places that you might see use only interest inventories. And the problem with interest inventories is that it's only going to show you things that you're already thinking about and already are showing interest in. And that can be very limiting. You might only know the types of jobs that you've seen people around you have, family, friends, and that's going to really limit your exposure because you can't be interested in something that you've never heard of. And that's where using aptitudes really gives them a lot broader vision of these career possibilities. They will be matched to careers that they maybe have never even heard of, or career clusters that they never thought they would be interested in. But finding out you have those natural abilities and seeing that you're matched up with that, it really gives you, it starts that interest in something that maybe you wouldn't have thought about before. So that's where we really bring that extra piece to the table by showing you things that maybe you haven't already been exposed to. So that's where you are exposed to these careers and you discover which ones are closely linked to your abilities. So looking at the student experience, if they're ready to work on their assessment over the break, like I said, it's possible you can stop and take breaks as much as you need. So if they just want to do one brain game per day, that's totally fine. It will save their progress. They only have to spend 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, and then they can work their way through the entire assessment. So that's a great way that, you know, if they don't want to spend a whole bunch of their Christmas break sitting and taking the assessment, totally understand. Just take it in little chunks, break it up, and then before you know it, you'll have it completed. And once you're done, you'll have those results available as long as you need them. So let's take a look at what that experience looks like. These are the different options of the YouScience assessment. So in high school, they'll take what we call Summit. And this is for anyone that's ninth grade and older. They'll take 9 brain games. There's an interest inventory, a personality profile, and 5 added optional brain games. They don't have to take those. They'll already see their results, and those are an option if they want to. They might have already taken snapshot in middle school. So if they say, oh, I already took that in middle school, I'm sure they probably did, but they probably took snapshot, which doesn't give them the full results yet. So if they haven't done Summit and they're ninth grade or older, then they definitely want to log in and take the full assessment. That's where they really get all of their results. To log in, the students will log into their SLDS, which is a student data system. So if they use Infinite Campus or PowerSchool, they just log into that account and they'll see the home page and they'll click where it says SLDS portal. And then they'll see another navigation bar and there's a button that says Georgia LDS. And this is what they'll use to click into their account. And this takes them to their student portal and they'll click where it says My Career Plan. And that will take them into their YouScience account. Once they've logged in, they'll see this home page and they'll click where it says Aptitude and Career Discovery. This is where they take the assessment and then they'll also come back to the same tile when they've completed it and they want to view their results. If it's their first time logging in, they'll see a bio page is what we call this. They just need to fill out this information, put in what grade they're in, and then they'll click Let's Start at the bottom. And once they do that, you're ready to go. You'll see the list of all the brain games that you'll work through. And for each one, it gives you these little checkoffs to make sure that you're prepared to work on that particular brain game. You want to make sure there's not any distractions. You don't want to be turning to your phone because a lot of them don't take very long. So we want to make sure that the students are really focused and they're not distracted by things around them that might take away from the time they need. So now we'll look at the student results, and this is where you'll really see the data, the information that you get once you put in the time and you commit to finishing the assessment. You'll click into the Aptitude and Career Discovery, and then you click right here where it says Discover Aptitudes again. And once you've taken the assessment, this page will switch to show your results. And it starts off with what we call an aptitude wheel. So the bigger space it takes up in the wheel, the stronger that aptitude is. You can click on any of these colors and it's going to show you that quick little explanation right here. This gives you a link right to the career matches if you want to go straight there. This talks about your personal approach and gives you a little bit more information. You can click Explore to read more about each one of those. And this goes through how you contribute to a team. So it takes these 3 on the side, these 3 on the top, and shows you where you match up in that matrix. And you'll see at the bottom, anytime I change the box, it's going to give you that information. So if I put my mouse right here, that's the one that's checked. But you can also read other information, which I love that they give you that. I always like to see how other people work too, not just about myself. So I like being able to read through all that information. This talks about the types of work that interest you. So we do use an interest profiler for each student. We just pair that with the aptitude. So we definitely want to know what students are interested in. That's a very important part of how you make your decisions. We just want to make sure that we're using that in partnership with what their aptitudes show as well. So this is coming from that interest survey, and it's the type of work that interests you. These are the optional brain games that I spoke about before. Again, only if somebody wants to. You can see that you'll already have your results, but if someone is just really interested and they want to learn even more about different aptitudes, they can take these and they'll get even more information. And coming back to the top, when you find an aptitude that you want to read a little bit more about, you'll click right here where it says Explore. And this is going to give you a full page of information on each aptitude. It starts off with a little explanation at the top. This is what your results show. I really like this part where it talks about how it impacts your daily life, and it breaks it up by how it might affect you at work, what it will look like at school, and then what it will look like just in social situations. So it gives you those different scenarios to understand how this aptitude fits. Then it shows you things that you may find easy and then difficult. I was amazed when I took my assessment at how spot on this was. Things that I found easy, it all lined up. And then I read the things that were difficult, and it really brought to light a way to explain some things that I hadn't really understood before. It'll also give you tips for success. And then again, it's going to give you information. It'll start off with what your results showed, but then you can read what other people might have seen in their results just to give you information. And then you can save anything if you want it bookmarked at the top to come back and really have quick access. So at the top, you just click Next Aptitude and it'll go through all of them for you. All of that great information for each aptitude. So this is the first part of your results. It also gives you the option to download aptitudes. This is a pretty lengthy report. If you really want an in-depth printout of your specific aptitudes, it could be great to have if you're wanting to use different parts and have it all in one document. This is available right here. I'm going to head back to this aptitude page right here. And the next part I want to look at is where you can find those careers. I think this is one of the most fun things to look at as well. Once you've learned a little bit about yourself, you want to see which careers did you get matched to. So it'll show you that fit at the top, and it has them listed for you. You can sort if you want to see the overall fit. That means that they're combining your aptitude and interest results. If you just want to see what fit based on your aptitudes alone, you can sort by these. Or if you want to look at just based on your interest, it'll show you different lists. And so that's another way to just show that if someone is just using their interest, it's going to give you a different list of information. If someone wants to look under one particular career cluster, they can sort that on the side. You can choose a particular salary range. And then it also lets you sort out your educational investment depending on what decisions you're thinking for what to do after high school. You can look at these different educational investments to see what's available. So when you want to look into a career, you just click on the tile and it's going to show you what the educational investment is, what are the projected openings, what is the salary range, and then what are the majors and programs for this career. You also have the option to save at the top, and you can keep those all in one list. It shows you which aptitudes are matching you for this career. This shows a day in the life. But then this really shows those core tasks. And I think this is really valuable as well. What are you really going to be doing each day? What does this job really look like on a daily basis? How this career fits you. So this will show your aptitudes are purple and the aptitudes for the career are the white circle. And then you just get a visual of how closely you fit with each aptitude. And if it's not a close fit, it'll just give you an explanation of how that might work when you're doing that job. It's not wanting to tell anyone, no, you shouldn't do this job. It's just, again, some more information so you can be prepared for what might be a challenge or what might come easy to you if you choose that career. It also fits your interests. So this one has really close alignment with the interest fit, which is what I was sorting by. So you can see how that really lines up. This shows you related careers. So once you've chosen one, you can look through what are some other careers that are close to it in the same field. And again, it'll show you that fit at the top. This goes through the educational investment and what are the commonly held degrees. It has an educational summary, and then also if there's any licensing you might need for that position. This will show you the majors or career programs and the expected job openings and salaries. So you can click into a state that has a darker color, has a high number of job openings, but you can click into any of the states to see what the job openings look like, what that salary looks like for any state in the nation. But then it also gives you the national average here. This will list out the jobs in the career by industry. So what industries are this job typically included in? And that's all the information you get for each career card. So again, you can always save these. And when you're looking at your careers, you'll have your saved careers here at the top. So that's all the great information you can get here. And again, you'll see we have over 600 careers that are listed, and it'll go through and show you your interests or what your fit is. And we never want to make students feel like they shouldn't do certain jobs. We just want them to have all of the information as they're making those decisions. So that's why you'll see it'll show you what that fit is, but they're all still listed. They're all still an option. Okay, heading back to that same page, there's more great information. In the Discuss Together, this is a really great tool, and I don't feel like it's used as much as it should be because it's kind of hidden under where you see the careers and where you see your aptitudes. But this is a really, really great resource and tool, and we call it the discussion guide. So it starts out with terms that describe you. And we can think about situations where if you're asked to write about things or share things that you don't feel confident in or you're not very good at, typically we're really good at sharing that, even as adults. And it can be hard when somebody says, okay, now tell me everything that you're really good at. A lot of times we really don't understand. We don't know how to explain the things that we're good at. We don't have the confidence in those. And so if it can be hard for adults, it can be even harder for students. So this is a really helpful tool. And I think it's also just really encouraging and helps build their confidence to just come through and read through it. You know, seeing a list of everything that you're good at is really going to make you feel that empowerment to go through and know that you can tackle that scholarship or you can take on that mock interview or fill out that resume. And I think it also gives better information that you can put. If you can tell a potential boss that you are fact-oriented, you're deliberate, and you're socially flexible. Those are great things that they can have to figure out how you might fit into their workforce versus just having particular facts about how many words you can type and things like that. So again, these are really great, just words you can copy and paste them. You can use them in any situation. But then we also have what we call power statements. And so these are full sentences, and we match these up with each aptitude. And again, you can come through and just read about all the things that you're really great at. They can copy and paste these. If they're getting ready for a mock interview, they can kind of study some of them and have some verbiage ready to go to answer questions. And I'll just show. It lists them out for each of the aptitudes. And then this just has, if you want to remove one, you think, no, that's not really how I want to describe myself, you can just click on that and it takes it out of view. So you only see the ones that are most valuable to you. So that is the discussion guide. And again, this is also available to download at the top. So you can have it with you, again, if you want to study up for something or fill out an application or something like that. And one of the last things I wanted to touch on was looking at secondary education, or what we call education connections. This is also one of the tiles on the homepage that you can get to that way as well. So this will look at different programs and majors, different schools that are available, and also taking a look at scholarships. So I'm clicking Start Exploring, and this is where it will show you the list of all the schools. You can sort out by the region or the state. You can put in which school type you're looking for. If you want to see which schools offer your area of study that you're interested in, it gives you the option to sort that out as well. If there's a specialty school you're looking for, a particular degree program, it also has the enrollment size. If a student knows they really want to go to a smaller school, or maybe they're hoping to go to a bigger city, they can sort out based on what that environment will be around them. Also has the setting option down here for that. You can sort out by the average cost per year, put in what is that max cost that you can afford each year, and view those schools. And then this is a really helpful checkbox that you can only look at schools that have scholarships available. And I would have definitely been one when I was looking for schools. I would have needed scholarships available. So I would love to have that to sort through and only see those schools that will help me financially, because that's what I would have needed. And so you'll see the different options. And when you click on more, it'll open up and give you some information. It gives you an option to go right to their website. This has just a little bit of history of the school and information. Other general information, again, a link straight to their website. This is where it lists out all of those areas of study, and you can click into them to see all of the majors that are available. What types of degrees are awarded, and the percentage of those degrees. Gives you admissions information, which I think is really helpful. Understanding what that admissions rate is, what's their policy. Here's a link right to the admission website. What are the testing requirements? And demographic information. Another great tool is this tuition cost and aid. It shows you what the overall costs typically are per year. I also like that it lists out other expenses that you might not think about outside of your tuition. If you've been through college, you know what those other expenses are, but if not, you're not always thinking about all the things you might be having to pay for outside of your tuition. So it gives you a heads up on what that might look like, if they have on-campus housing. And this gives you a little cost calculator if you want to put in your specific information, and it'll help you see what that cost would look like. This is where it has all the scholarships. You can just click the arrow. You can see this one has a lot of scholarships available, but it shows you what the deadline is. You can click Learn More or click Apply, and it'll take you straight to that website. It has student outcome information, extracurricular, and special programs, which is great to know if there's a particular program you're looking for. And I'm going to look at Explore More in the scholarship area. So since I came from this one school, it has it filtered out already, but I'll click the X and this will show you what that scholarship area looks like. Again, lots of filtering options. If you want to make sure you don't have to pay a fee, maybe you don't want to write an essay, or maybe you do, and that's what you're really good at. You can look for different types. What type are you looking for? Sorting, how much does it award? What is the level of study and the institution type? And it'll kind of show you, here's the deadline, here's how much it'll award, which is a great way to quickly see how much are you going to need, how big of an award are you trying to get. And when you find one that you want to look at, you can click Learn More. It'll have that link to the website and just a little bit more information about where the scholarship's coming from, What are the requirements? Here's what it awards. So again, just more information as you're looking through scholarships. Another tool that I like here, again, you can favorite them and see them there. You can come to My Applications, and I think this is really a great tool. If a student is looking at lots of different scholarships, this will help organize them all in one place. They can check if they are in progress and they're working on it. If they've completed it, they can put that they've applied and maybe they won and they get to celebrate and put in that they're the winner, which would be awesome. But I think this is really helpful as you're a senior and you're trying to get all of these things figured out by the end of the school year. This is one last thing that you have to keep track of. You can keep track of it all in one place. So I think that's a really handy tool. Coming back here, the last one is the programs and majors. So this works similarly. You can just look at majors instead of schools, find out if it's based on a career fit or a career you favorited, what kind of degree or field of study, and you can look through, and then it'll show you how many colleges offer each program. So if you want to work the other way and start with the major that you're interested in, and then find the school that fits with it. And another great tool is this college planning tool. Perfect. You can put in what grade you're in, and it will give you what you might want to be working on during the fall, winter, spring, and summer. So it gives you some preparation tasks. If there's extracurricular activities you might want to work on, things you want to do to have financial aid set up, what kind of testing do you need to have finished, things like attending college fairs, visiting the college, things like that. So this is a great way, especially if someone is maybe the first student to go to college and the whole process is new. This is a great place to come and just get an idea of what are all of the things you need to accomplish in order to apply, work on scholarships, things like that. So I think this is another great resource to utilize to come and see. It's already set out for you and you can just check off as you work through it. It also gives you the option here, if you've started college applications, you can add the school and keep track of that process as well. And this is all in this Education Connections tile. So you can get to it through your results, or you can come straight to Education Connections. So that is all of the information I have to share from the results. I hope that was helpful for all of you to see how much valuable data the students can get as they complete their assessment. I hope that if they have time over the Christmas break or holiday break, that they can, like I said, just do it a little bit at a time, chip away at it until you get it complete. I've heard from so many counselors and teachers that it's, the students don't want to do it at first, but once they get finished, they love looking through their results. So if we can just get them through the finish line, and then they really enjoy everything that they learn about themselves.